Am I the asshole for refusing to hear anything medical about my friend's pregnancy? I am at the end of my life expectancy. It's entirely possible I could live longer because of taking good care of myself. But the average is late 30s. My mother had the same condition I do and died at age 22 from childbirth. I decided to never have children to avoid passing my disease on 50 chance or leaving children behind for someone else to raise, potentially knowing they ended their own mother's life, which was honestly a really crappy way to grow up. I joined a support group online 10 years ago, and in that time, while we have gained new members, we've lost a number to age, and a number of women to pregnancy and childbirth complications. One of my closest friends, Margie, has decided to have a baby with her husband. My platonic partner caretaker of 15 years, Jim 41M, and I live an hour away. And while her husband has been working as much overtime as he can to earn extra time off, Jim has been the one driving her to her appointments and bringing me to spend time with her so she hasn't been alone as much. My one and only rule is I don't want to know specifics about her pregnancy-related medical issues. Because of personal trauma, she is entitled to make her own decisions about her life. I'm entitled to my feelings. And I don't want to know so I can rein in my feelings and be respectful. She has a medical folder with updates about her current condition in the event of an emergency. Jim and I aren't being paid for our time, gas, etc. It's all volunteer. However, as her pregnancy has progressed and things have started to get worse, she keeps trying to slip things in. On Friday she brought it up again. I asked if she needed us to call 911 and her husband. She said no, and I lost my temper and told her, "Then stop bringing it up. I have one rule and you keep trying to break it. Unless you need medical attention, can we please talk about something else?" She cried silently for nearly an hour even after I apologized and then told Jim and I to not bother showing up for Labor Day when we left, which left her husband confused because she wouldn't tell him what happened. I gave him the number for my therapist who specializes in palliative care patients because I know she needs support, and I feel bad for hurting her feelings. But I don't want to be her therapist as she faces the reality of her decision. I don't want her dumping her health on me. Not while I'm dealing with mine. Am I the asshole? I'm going to go ahead and say not the asshole. If she agreed to not talk about it for your personal mental health, she shouldn't. If she needs someone to talk to about it, she can make another friend or hire a therapist. You were very open and honest with her and she is choosing to ignore your boundary. She needs to understand that you are offering her all of the support you are able to, while keeping yourself mentally healthy. Additionally, if she wanted to bring it up and was really struggling, she should ask you about it beforehand to give you some warning at least, rather than trying to slip it in. Edit grammar. Not the asshole. You have one boundary and she is not respecting that. She surely has other people she could talk about the medical issues. She just chooses the one person that cannot be the supportive friend in this one area. Also very sorry to hear that you are terminal. Hope you still find comfort and joy in the time you have left. I have mitochondrial disease. Is it anywhere near that disease? Mine has no cure or treatment either. I don't like the talks either. I just want to live as long as I can. Does she have the same condition as you? I understand that you want to support her, but you can't provide the full support system that she needs all by yourself. That can be said for lots of people, not just people going through what the two of you are. She should not be depending on you alone. So hopefully she takes you up on the therapist. That being said, you set forth boundaries, and if she agreed to that, she's the for trying to step on that. Not the asshole. And I wish you both the best. Not the asshole. Does Margie have the same or similar condition to you? Your post makes it seem like Margie is at a high risk of dying due to her pregnancy. But it isn't clear, and I'm not so sure why it's so doom and gloom. Either way, you're not an asshole. You are offering her lots of support, but you made your one boundary very clear and she keep violating it. Nah, y'all are doing your best. Nah, really. Sometimes you're not the right person to talk about a topic with due to your own mental landscape. You can't be her friend to talk this over with. You can be her friend for many other things. She's not wrong for wanting a friend she can talk about this with. That friend just can't be you. That sucks for both of you. It's a hard place to be. I hope both of you get what you need. Not the asshole. You are setting a boundary in order to maintain your mental health. I wish you all the best in maintaining your physical health as well. Can anyone enlighten me on what this disease is? Not the asshole, and you have me insanely curious about this disease. And I'm hoping hard that your choices mean much more longevity. Not the asshole. If it's a trigger for you, then she needs to respect your boundaries. You warned her and she's tried to ignore that. That is the behavior of a self-centered person. Not the asshole at all. You set the boundary with her from the start. You and Jim are already going above and beyond. It sounds like she is struggling with the reality of her situation. I can't imagine what it's like for her parents either, knowing that she is willingly bringing a child into the world she will not be able to care for ultimately. I wonder if that is the bigger reason they are distancing themselves versus her condition in general. AITA take space. It sounds like your needs and her needs aren't compatible right now. She needs to find another support system for a bit. Not the asshole. Her choice is just that. Hers. You are not obligated to let her trauma dump. Especially on the one issues you've specifically asked her not to. She is TA, not you. Absolutely not the asshole. You were going above and beyond to offer her the support you could. And she repeatedly and selfishly disrespected your boundaries. It seems to be for the best that you keep your distance for now. And let her deal on her own with the consequences of her decision. Since she seems unable to respect the one clear boundary you set. Not the asshole. You're both in a shitty position, but you put down a boundary for your mental health. Her pregnancy does not trump your mental health. You're dealing with a huge issue. And for her to knowingly add to it is cruel and unfair. Pregnant people always think their pregnancy is so much more important than everyone else's lives. And it's frustrating as hell. Not the asshole. I will never understand why someone with a deadly genetic disease chooses to have children. Even if it wasn't something that was going to likely kill her just giving birth. That's if she even makes it long enough for the child to be born. Even if the odds are good that it won't be passed on. Essentially, she and her husband are playing Russian roulette with their baby's life. Of course, it is their decision. Emo. It is a very selfish one. Not the asshole. But have you had time to internalize she might not make it through the pregnancy? Maybe this is triggering you so badly because you know what might wait at the end of this lane. You need to take time and space for yourself, but also know that if you close the door completely you might not see her again, and that will be even harder to get through. Take time and reflect. Maybe try to ignore the pregnancy talk. Maybe just change the subject. But don't close and lock the door on her. Not the asshole. This is a reasonable boundary that you made to protect yourself and your friendship. Not being an asshole doesn't mean this situation isn't brutal on the both of you, but I'm proud of you for setting limitations that honor yourself and your care for your friend. Nah. I feel like if you two discussed the decision she has made, it would just get really messy and painful. What you said needed to be said in order to prevent more pain on both sides. And she needed to hear it to understand and reinforce that boundary.